Whoa!
So, ladies and gentlemen, the Marvels, we've been getting estimates coming out. It's like 30 million. It's gone up a little bit. Not a lot. It's said to be worse than the
Disney
Flash,
bought some
and
tickets.
Marvel is freaking out. It is absolutely freaking out. This comes to us from an inside source, someone who wrote a book, an author. It's getting a lot of traction. So let's dive into this, right? So for those that don't know, The Flash opened at $55 million back in June. So the height of summer, basically, summer box office should be huge. And it did $270 million worldwide, utterly atrocious. And currently, the Marvel's pre-sale tickets are down 70% from Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, so it's even worse than that. And Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 only opened to $118 million. So the Marvels is looking to open to around $39 to $50 million opening weekend. That's terrible. That's real bad. And comically, of course, Captain Marvel, the first one, opened to $153.5 million and obviously did 1.1 billion worldwide. But hey, we can call that into question all we like. But what this comes to us from Grace Randolph, sorry. So this isn't like what dumb shit did she say this week? It's funny because she sort of reveals some stuff, but also is actually parroting what Box Office had already said, what the Box Office Pro, I think, had already said. So she says this. What's interesting to me is that Ms. Marvel was so bad. But you know that these things, things are really bad when the shill media has to admit it, right? Right? So what's interesting to me... Oh,
it's that statement's contrary to her position going back 2 months, 3 months ago. She's like,
that's what I mean.
It's not a bad show. It's aimed at kids, and it didn't, and da 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 da. And now she's like, It's interesting to me.
It's so bad. Yeah. So what's interesting to me is that Ms. Marvel is so bad, but I'll tell you something else. I'm going to tell you a little tea right now. I don't know, even if I should, blah, blah, blah. I heard the pre-sales from the Marvels the other day were so bad that they really scared Marvel.
Oh, what kind of dumb shit did Grace say this week?
We need a video for that. God damn it.
It's all on Tom.
And then she said they were as bad as the pre-sales for a recent... So it's the Flash, basically. And everyone's super scared. So she sent it a bit further. I had hinted a day before the story officially broke, which isn't true because actually Box Office Theory had already done it. But never mind, Grace, fine. The Marvel's pre-sales were not going well. I had said that they were lower or around the same place as a DC film. I didn't want to say what it was, but it was The Flash. I heard it was on the level of The Flash. The pre-sales are that bad, and I heard that Marvel was kind of freaking out about it. I had a source tell me that the pre-sales for the Marvels were like, they scared Marvel. They scared the MCU. And then she says the most obvious thing ever. I think when you see the numbers for Ms. Marvel in comparison, I think that kind of makes sense, interestingly enough. It's going to be really interesting. I was looking at the pre-sales. They were pretty bad. There are a lot of tickets available. So, yeah, I mean, she's saying everything that we already know. But if she does have a source within Marvel, they're scared. I believe that they are scared, and I believe that they absolutely are freaking out. Because if this does Flash money, they've lost already, at bare minimum, about $300 million straight away. If this does Flash money, $270 million, they've already lost $300 million. Just gone. Come on, Culture. Sock it to me. What's your thoughts, bro?
What I think is I'm not surprised. They're going to lose $200 to $250 million on this movie. They know they're going to lose $250 million on this movie, and there is not one thing they can do about it. They can't fix it. They cut it down to 90-some minutes. This will be the shortest ever Marvel film you've seen. It is not... I'm about to say something controversial. It is not Brie Larson's fault that this movie's going to tank. It is Disney's fault and Marvel's fault specifically for being directionless, politically motivated garbage for all of Phase 4 and the beginning of Phase Dive. So Phase 4 and Phase Dive have led us to this moment, the complete collapse of Marvel. There you go.
Come on, Tom. Sock it to me.
I mean, I'm convinced at this point if there was any kind of bump in the sales, it was because Disney bought the tickets themselves.
I agree. And
It-
because they were buying it on behalf of other things, weren't they? It was like these kind of charity things and stuff.
Yep.
Oh,
Well, that was before
allocate
too,
these
but
free
I'm getting to
tickets.
the point where I think that all the studios are doing it just in general, and then they end up. I think they turn around. This is my guess is what they do, and this is me speculating because I've seen this now in so many different instances. I think they buy a
Mhm.
handful of tickets, then they have them refunded before the show starts, because there has not been at least
Mm.
I don't know how many times in the last few screenings I've went to where I'll get my ticket and there's people all around me, and when I get my ticket because I try to get the best seat in the house, the middle of the house.
Oh, interesting.
And then when I go to sit down, even though
I
I'm supposed to be surrounded by like 6 people, I'm all by myself.
Yes.
This has become
Yeah.
a common and more common, and they always seem to buy up the best seats in the fucking house on the first day of screening too, which is weird.
Well, and they
yeah, I can agree with that. I mean,
And to me, it makes it
artificially-
look like it's an artificially kind of making it look
Artificially
like there's some
inflated.
kind of demand for it. Yeah.
Well, but see, they believe that they've been successful with that strategy in the theme parks as well, Tom, which has actually destroyed attendance at the theme parks, creating artificial scarcity. But at the same time, we've seen patterns of buying behavior for seats in all of these theaters for every single one of these movies going back quite a ways. So they're employing a marketing company. I agree 100% with Tom, that goes in with a stack full of cash, buys up the same pattern of seats in all these showings, and then refunds them before the show. So you can, the before and after may not reflect that, but they are not seeing these movies. And it is, it's absolutely ridiculous.
It's just like book sales. I don't know if you've ever heard about that.
But we have this interesting fella in the back who might have a thought.
There's
on
people
this.
in the back.
Yeah.
Nick, what do you think about the Marvels?
Chill stream.
They're scared. Marvel is super scared about the pre-sales. Going to be worse than the Flash. Nick's dead already.
I think Disney's got nothing left in the tank.
Since
That's-
what? That is a terrible.
That was a terrible Nick.
Terrible version of Nick.
I know it was.
Oh my god.
I can't do his voice right now. I have to try it for a little bit. Before I figure it out. Look, you can't just do this shit overnight. People think that a lot of us voice actors
was
can just
real bad.
jump into it,
No,
but you got to
takes a
kind
minute.
of find the tick.
That is.
You have to find a
Jesus.
word. So if you ever want to know how to impersonate somebody, you have to find a word that you can replicate that they do,
Ground
that-
control to
and-
me.
and then that gives you your starting point. So like I would listen to what Mr. H would say, like a word, one of his favorite words. I would listen.
Nobody
to him say-
cares, culture.
Okay, I'll shut up.
Anyway, back to the Marvels. What do you think would happen at Marvel if they do genuinely get Flash money? What do you think?
Well, we
They
already
will
know,
spin it any way they can.
but we already know it is going to be our fault. I mean, let's just be. It's going to be our
Oh, of
fault.
course, yeah.
Yeah,
you know,
but
'cause you got penis.
But
That'd be
they look. They already know what they have, which is one of the reasons why all the stories we're covering about Disney and Marvel today are dumpster fires, because the Marvel specifically was always going to be a dumpster fire, but they've had a series of them. I imagine that at this point we now are starting to doubt whether or not Guardians of the Galaxy made money. We're actually at that point where it's like, wow, they overshot their budget, and wow, these numbers coming out of the UK. Thank you for that. Oh, and thank you for supporting in your taxes all of these failures, Nate. Appreciate it.
Well, let's get Nick's opinion now. He's back. Apparently, he's not dead anymore. You're typing backstage, Nick. Speak.
Hey guys, I can't talk tonight.
Oh my god.
How was that? Was that better?
I don't think your mic works, Nick.
His mic's broke. I don't know. These
Testing 1 2.
Testing. There we go.
Okay, I was literally talking the whole time when you brought me in the first time, and So when you guys saw me pop in back there, just a little bit ago, and then I bounced out, it's because none of my microphone settings were pulling up in StreamYard. Nothing was working. I had to restart my computer. I'm like, and then I got back in, it still wasn't showing up. So I got that fixed. And anyways, yeah, I've been troubleshooting.
The Marvels going to do worse than the Flash potentially. What do we think? Go ahead. Marvel's freaking out.
I think it will do worse than the Flash, honestly, because the thing that Flash had going for it was the return of Michael Keaton, Batman 80. Damn it. Michael Keaton, Batman 1989. So a lot of people went to that just to see him come back as Batman.
Yeah. Who's
going to see the Marvels? What draw does it have? Brie Larson's not a draw. None of the other people from the other the Disney Plus show didn't have a huge audience. So, I mean, yeah, they might show up, but that's not going to be enough people. And Marvel movies are just on a trend of going down. Other than Guardians of the Galaxy 3, which was part of the OG MCU, you know, everything's going down. So, yeah, I think they should be concerned. And I think it could definitely do worse than the Flash for sure. It's not going to do what the first Captain Marvel did. That's for sure. It won't even come close. It won't even get half of what the first one got.
No.